Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. In this one, we're going to be doing a 7-round New York Jets mock draft. I'm totally pumped up for it, but we're actually going to be going up against all 31 other teams. We're going to throw it in the mock draft machine to where guys are actually getting picked, in front of us and behind us. So let's see how we do. Let me know your mock draft, or at least some of the prospects, specifically in the middle to later rounds that you guys have your eye on. I love talking about this stuff. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. Alright, here we go. 7-round mock draft. Start draft. Jacksonville, Evan Neal. Aiden Hutchinson, spot number 2 to the Lions. Kyle Hamilton, spot number 3 to Houston. Okay, so the Jets are sitting here right now. We got a couple offensive linemen on the board that I like. Ike Ekwonu, Charles Cross. I think both would be solid fits. Couple corners, Gardner and Stingley. But I gotta be honest with you, I think for me right now, this is, by the way, Johnson there's so many good prospects in this draft that I feel like would come in and fit the Jets system. But for me right now at spot number 4, I think I'm going Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, I think it just makes so much sense. We know what this defense is based around. It's getting after the quarterback with your front four. If you can't do that, quarterbacks will pick you apart. We have Carl Lawson coming back from injury, which is awesome, but it's no guarantee that Carl Lawson, will look like the same player that he did back in Cincinnati, or even in the offseason or in training camp with the Jets. And there's also a possibility of him getting hurt again. We're looking at the edge position opposite of Lawson. I think it's up in the air right now. I really think we need an upgrade. And Kayvon Thibodeau is arguably a top 3 player in this class, and he falls to the Jets at spot number 4. There are some concerns with fire and adding some size to his frame, but I think at the end of the day, Thibodeau, he just makes so much sense for this Jets defense. And if he is there with the 4th overall pick, I think I'm taking him ahead of corner. I think I'm taking him ahead of safety, of offensive line. And by the way, this mock draft is late February. Okay, so we don't know exactly what's going to be happening with free agency and the draft and with potential trades and whatnot. So we're sitting here at spot number 10. Let's see who is picked after Kayvon. Jermaine Johnson to the Giants. Okay, Ike Ekwonu, Carolina. Solid pick for them. Like that. Jameson Williams to the Giants. Spot number 7. Okay, Traylon Burks 8. I like that. Malik Willis 9. Jameson Williams is interesting. I don't know if this site, has Williams rated extremely high here. And by the way, I really don't feel like the Giants need a wide receiver either. I mean, they have Kenny Golladay locked up on a mega deal. They just drafted Kadarius Toney in the 1st round last year. And Shepard's under contract. I mean, are they really going to invest a top 10 pick after going edge with the 5th overall pick? Are they going to invest their other one in a wide receiver when offensive line is a huge position of need, and Charles Cross is still sitting here? I honestly, at spot number 10, I'm thinking wide receiver Garrett Wilson or Traylon Burks, but Burks is off the board. But then again, we have McDuffie, Linderbaum. I like both of those guys a lot. Who else? Ahmad Gardner, Charles Cross, Derek Stingley. I mean, man, the Jets seriously could not go wrong in this situation. So we addressed edge first. I think I'm going to go. It's tough. I really want to go wide receiver. I really do, but I also feel like I could get solid wide receivers in rounds 2, rounds 3. I don't think I'm going to get an offensive lineman to the caliber of a Charles Cross later in the draft, so I think I'm going to go with Cross. He fits the system tremendously. I think right now we look at offensive line. Obviously, Mekhi Becton's injury, big question mark there. Same question marks with Carl Lawson, right? Will he get hurt again? Will he look like the same player? There's also some size concerns there with Becton. Although I love Mekhi, and I'm hoping everything is smooth sailing. He comes in, he's the dominant left tackle that we all saw his rookie season, and we just pick up he picks up where he left off. I think right now it's just too much of a question mark right now. It's a little hazy. Morgan Moses set to hit the open market. I think tackle right now, really offensive line as a whole is a big question mark. So go get a guy in Charles Cross who's dominated the SEC, who fits the system. He's incredible in pass protection. I really like that. At spot number 10, I mean, people are having this guy going top 5. I mean, man, 10, it's crazy value, but it does pain me to pass up on some of these wide receivers like Garrett Wilson and whatnot. I mean, I really, really like Garrett. Okay, so 35 here. Let's take a look at some of the players that were picked. Daxton Hill, spot number 32 to Detroit. I really, really like that selection. Hill's a versatile guy, safety. Maybe he could drop down, play some nickel corner. I also think his stock is going to rise after the combine. Physical measurements. Devin Lloyd, steal for the Chiefs late. Nakobe Dean. I don't know if London falls this far. Damn, I don't know how Garrett Wilson falls this far either. 26. Who's going ahead? Karlaftis, Green. I like that pick for Vegas. Linderbaum. Gardner. Pickett to Cleveland. Interesting. Stingley, Matt Corral. Okay, so 35. So far, we have Kayvon Thibodeau at 4, Charles Cross at 10. I think let's take a look at wide receiver. Jahan Dotson sitting here. I think he would fit the system really, really well. He's a lot like Elijah Moore back at Ole Miss. Let's check safety. Brisker's here as well. But remember, we also have pick 38. There is a guy. Let's see if he's still. Yep, Trey McBride's still on the board. Let's go back to the all category. Overall. Oh, you know what? Chris Olave's here. And I'm going Chris Olave. I have to. Great route runner. I think he would fit the system. He gets open constantly. He didn't have to go back to school a year ago, but he did anyway. He stacked another productive season on top of his already productive college career. I think Chris Olave not only just gives you a guy who could get open by himself on one-on-one coverage, but he could also stretch the field with his speed. That's something that this Jets wide receiving core does not have right now. And again, this is assuming that the Jets, this is looking at the Jets roster right now. Okay, this isn't, a hypothetical Calvin Ridley trade and we're kind of doing the mock draft around that, or assuming we land, a DK Metcalf or we sign, whoever, Chris Godwin, something like that. This is looking at the roster right now. I think Chris Olave, and granted, I might be a little biased because I am a little higher on Olave than a lot of people out there. I get that. But man, I think for him to fall to round 2, and it's not even like we have the first pick in the second round. I'm going Olave, 35. I think that's a slam dunk. Day 1 starter. Okay, 38, Kyle Gordon. Honestly, I mean, there's so many good wide receivers in this class. David Bell, Jahan Dotson. We just took Olave. I really, really like the depth here. Williams, Jameson. I mean, there's so many guys. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go back to tight end. No, McBride did not get drafted. I'm going Trey McBride here. So far, we've addressed edge, offensive line, wide receiver, and tight end. Not only are they just positions of need, I'm really liking how this draft is turning out, but not only are they all just positions of need, but they're all day 1 starters. All of these guys right now would come in and be upgrades over what we currently have. Charles Cross is obviously a little debatable because if Mekhi Becton, comes back and is, absolutely fantastic and he just lives up to his potential for next season, I think you can make an argument that Cross might not be as good as Becton year 1, but man, I mean, all 4 of these guys, huge positions of need. They're all coming in day 1 starters. Crazy stuff. And, edge, we know that's a huge position of importance on defense. We're making Zach Wilson's life easier. We're investing three huge picks here in tight end, wide receiver, offensive line, thus making Wilson's life easier moving forward. I'm loving how this is turning out. Although I doubt this is how it's going to play out because I really don't see the Giants going with a wide receiver in the top 10. I do think they'll go offensive line, but who knows? It's still late February here, pre-free agency. We don't know what these teams are going to do. Okay, so pick 69 here. Who was picked before us? Mechie. That's another wide receiver who I like. Austin Strong, likely to Denver. Not really understanding that, but I like likely as a prospect. I mean, they're solid at tight end. I like that pick, especially if they don't bring back KZ. Elam. I think Elam is actually pretty underrated. You know, I watched him back in Florida. I would not be surprised if he goes early round 2. And Tariq is another guy from UTSA, long, aggressive. I really, really like Tariq. He could be a guy that I think at post-combine, post-pro day, is going to be a guy that his stock could rise. I mean, this site has him going pretty high. They must really like him, but I think he's a slept-on corner. Brisker, 46, really, really good value there. David Bell to Seattle. All right, pick 69 here. What have we done so far? Thibodeau, Cross, Olave, McBride. Ruckert's on the board. I really like I got to do it. I got to do it right here. Darian Kennard. I don't even have to look through the list. Darian Kennard, interior offensive lineman from Kentucky. Right guard is a major, major position of need. I think Darian would come in and fill that right guard spot immediately. Okay, and also he does give you that versatility. He can play inside or outside. He's a tons of starts under his belt back at Kentucky. That offensive system with Stoops at the helm, I mean, it's tons of zone blocking. Okay, so I don't think the learning curve would be as crazy for Kennard as some of these other offensive linemen. Like Cade Mays is a guy from Tennessee who I would like the Jets to target in the later portion of the draft. I mean, that's another versatile player. He's literally played tackle, guard, both on the left side and the right side. But like you have like the scheme question mark. You know, how well? Dang, we're already at pick 109 here, round 4, already back on the clock. But no, I think Kennard would be a slam dunk. Fits the system, position of need. Again, day 1 starter. I think he is an upgrade over Greg Van Roten, who will probably be released, so we could save, I think, $3 to $3.5 million there. An upgrade. I'm loving this class. Thibodeau, Cross, Olave, McBride. It almost kind of feels too good to be true, you know, with some of these picks. Because some of these guys I just don't see going like this early. But again, who knows? 109. Let's see. I kind of want to target offensive line. Although I do, Lindstrom is here. Alec Pierce, underrated guy. I know he's kind of a fan favorite. There's a lot of Jets fans that really, really like Pierce from Cincinnati. Let's see. Have we addressed safety? We have not. I think I'm going to go with Kirby from Illinois. I really like that pick. I look at safety right now, and I think the Jets will be active in the free agency market. There's going to be a lot of solid players hitting the market. Obviously, Marcus Williams. I don't think he'll be back with the New Orleans Saints, just because I don't think. All right, we're back on the clock at 1:15. I don't think that the Saints could afford a guy like Marcus Williams. And then Jesse Bates, I think, will be back with Cincinnati. But man, I mean, Justin Reed, Tracy Walker from Detroit, Quandre Diggs, maybe he doesn't get brought back by Seattle. The Jets had the worst defense in football last year, literally 32 out of 32. As a fan of football, again, I'm assuming, let's just assume that this rumor is true. I don't want to hear that as a fan, where the defensive genius head coach coming over from San Francisco doesn't value defensive backs, and then we proceed to put out the worst defense in football. I think for me, something's got to give there. We'll see what happens this offseason. I personally don't buy that. I mean, in today's day and age, with all of the throwing, all of the mobile quarterbacks, all of the, broken plays that we see, and I mean, even the rules kind of being tailored towards offensive players. I mean, some of these pass interference calls defensively are ridiculous. Defensive holding, it's crazy. The wide receiver definitely has the edge. Generally speaking, I just can't see a defensive-minded team saying, you know what, we're going to take defensive back, corner, and safety and put them on the back burner. They're not important. Hey, maybe they're not as important as edge. That's totally, that's totally fine. But I don't want to hear that the team doesn't value defensive backs. But I don't know. Going back to Kirby Joseph, I like him, and I do think he would be a day 1 upgrade over both Davis and Pinnock. Although I am interested to see what Pinnock will do as a full-time starter at safety, but that's just a hypothetical because I don't know what's happening there. All right, so pick 115, round 4. I know we only have a couple picks left because we don't own any 7th round picks or 6th rounders. Let's see. We've addressed a lot of. I mean, we've not only just landed day one upgrades, but we've landed positions of need. Man, I got to be honest. I mean, what more could we really ask for here? I mean, if the board falls this way, I think it's just easy. I mean, these are easy layups for Joe Douglas. Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati. Interesting. Let's see. Alec Pierce, Cincinnati. Okay. Another Bearcat. Rashad White, I like how he runs. Hassan Haskins. Might be some questions as far as a system fit, but a hard runner, super hard runner. Bell cow guy from Michigan last year. Man, so tough. Strange. Cole Strange. Interesting prospect here, because I think, well, we did go Kennard. We go Charles Cross. We don't really know what's happening. We know AVT's locking out left tackle. But Cole Strange was actually taking snaps at center at the Senior Bowl, but played the majority of his college career at guard. That's interesting. Jones lit up the Senior Bowl. I really like what he showed. But I think from a value perspective, it's either got to be Kobe Bryant or Pierce. Whoever you like more here. And I think, man, it's tough. I think right now I'm looking at wide receiver. I think I'm going to go with Pierce, because I look right now at wide receiver for this Jets team. I mean, Braxton Berrios set to hit the open market. Crowder set to hit the open market. Cole set to hit the open market. Denzel Mims, is he even in the long-term plans of the franchise? I don't know. Corey Davis coming off of a season-ending injury before that. He put up some pretty disappointing. He had some pretty disappointing moments. I love Elijah Moore, but I don't want to be in a situation where, our wide receiving core is Chris Olave, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and that's really it. Especially with all the injuries that this team has sustained over the past couple of seasons. I want to, again, make Zach Wilson's life as easy as possible. I really don't understand why this team, in the past has failed to, we keep going through this trend of failing to give our young talented quarterbacks weapons. Think back, Geno Smith. What did he really have? Eric Decker, but that was only for a year before Ryan Fitz stepped in. Even Bryce Petty, what did he really have? Josh McCown, did he really have anything? Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson, that was a nice piece. And, the first, the early, that was when Jamison Crowder got brought in. But I mean, really, are any of those guys striking fear in the minds of defensive coordinators? I mean, we're sitting here right now. What was that pick? 115, and we could get a guy that could potentially contribute in the regular season immediately. I think wide receiver not only is not that talented right now on the Jets roster, but it's a pretty thin position. If Elijah Moore were to go down with injury, and again, this is before free agency here and potential trades, but what else do we really have? I don't want to be in a situation where, hey, if Moore goes down, well, that's the season, because we have nothing there, no weapons. So 145. Let's review these picks. Alec Pierce, Joseph, Kennard, McBride, Olave, Cross, Thibodeau. 145. Here we go. Let's see. Actually, you know what? We haven't really addressed linebacker. Let's see if there's... I'm assuming Anderson got taken on. I'm not really keeping track of all these players that are getting picked before us here. I'm assuming Anderson got picked up. He's a linebacker that I like. Let's see. Let's see who's on the board here. Linebacker. DeMarco Jackson, I like. I like Mike Rose too. But round 5 might be a little high for Rose. But DeMarco Jackson is interesting. Let's see. Overall players. Watson. Interesting guy there. Oh, Cole Strange is still on the board. He's a guy, I know we just talked about him, but he's a guy that could possibly sit for a year and then step in. But the problem is, again, AVT's locking down left tackle. Kennard is going to be, according to this mock draft, the right guard of the future. But I don't know, does Kennard bounce out to right tackle? You can make that argument. And then you could just fill Strange in at right tackle. A lot of zone blocking, back at Chattanooga. I think right now it's either between DeMarco. Oh, Romeo Dobbs is here too from Nevada. I think he's a little underrated. Justin Ross, Clemson, Bo Melton, Rutgers, Cade Mays. Mays is versatile. Ross, Melton. I mean, man, there's so many options. When's our next pick? Pick 162. I don't think Strange will last. I think I'm going to go with Strange because, again, even though we're solid at face value with the starting lineup with AVT and Kennard, if there's another look at the free agents. Greg Van Roten probably will be released. Dan Feeney set at the open market. Cam Clark unfortunately had to retire due to a medical, that injury. So, I feel like we're not only just kind of weak on the offensive line, but we're thin there as well. If we have one injury, all of a sudden, the floodgates open. All right, 162. I believe this is the last pick of the New York Jets. All right, let's go see if DeMarco's still on the board here. I might go DeMarco, but let me just see. We've addressed 2 wide receivers, tight end, multiple offensive linemen. This is a really Kirby Joseph at safety. All right. I'm either going to go with DeMarco at linebacker. My only hesitation with going with Jackson from App State is how do the Jets feel right now with their linebacking core? Obviously, CJ Mosley's going to be doing his thing in the middle, but this team drafted Najee Dean for a reason. They drafted Sherwood for a reason. We brought in Quincy Williams, and he was, I believe, second in the team in tackles. I want to see more of Quincy Williams next season. How does this do they feel good about the youth? Because we don't really need another young player coming in if you don't know if you'll beat out a Najee Dean or a Sherwood. So it's interesting. But I do feel like linebacker is a need nonetheless. Let's check out running back, though. Okay, so it's between... I really think Tyler Goodson would be a solid fit for what the Jets want to do offensively. Because I look at running back right now, yes, Michael Carter is going to be the lead guy, but Tevin Coleman only signed that 1-year deal. I don't know how this Jets coaching staff feels right now about Ty Johnson, LaMichael Pirine. I don't really know what his future holds. It's tough because I feel like running back is another position where, starter, Michael Carter, awesome, we're looking great. But behind him, it's like, what do we do? Does Mike LaFleur push for a guy that he had in San Francisco that's going to hit the open market? Do we try to re-sign a Tevin Coleman and all of a sudden we don't really have to worry about running back? But then again, we are in round 5 here. Do we want to go for a developmental linebacker? Actually, let me just see the overall board here. And I don't know how this site has their players ranked, but Bo Melton, Cade Mays. I like both of those guys a lot. Cole Turner still on the board. Gosh, Cole Turner, man. Talk about potential. The size, athleticism. Great numbers back in Nevada with Carson Strong. Charlie Kohler here, but we already got McBride. Leon O'Neal, safety from Texas A&M. A huge hitter. A guy who I really like. Although I think round 5 might be a tad bit high, where we're at currently. I think it's going to be Tyler Goodson. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Because linebacker, I think right now we have a lot of youth there. And I don't think it's a guarantee that DeMarco would come in and instantly beat out everybody on the roster, behind Mosley and Wilson. But I do think Goodson could see some snaps, and he could be a late round addition to the team I mean, you look at what this guy does, you know, specifically like bending outside the offensive line, like getting to the outside and just putting on the Blazers. A lot of production at Iowa. He was the bell cow guy. I'm going with Tyler Goodson here. And again, I believe that's our last pick, 162. I'm liking this draft. I really am. Kayvon Thibodeau addresses edge, a huge position of need defensively. Charles Cross, day one starter on the offensive line, a safe prospect, great in pass protection. Love it. We have some question marks there. Chris Olave, day one starter, could start opposite of Corey Davis, can hurt defenses deep down the field, route running ability. He might not be an electric rod or, you know, like a lightning rod where you can just throw him a slant and he could take it 90 yards on any given play on a week-to-week basis. But this guy could get open. Good hands, multiple years of production back at Ohio State. I really like Chris Olave. And again, might be a little biased. I might be high on him or more high on him than others. Trey McBride, 38. Day one starter, instant upgrade, best tight end on the team. Darian Kennard, day one starter, 69. Kirby Joseph, 109. Arguably a day one starter. Pierce, I could see contributing. Year one. Strange, a developmental interior offensive lineman. We're adding depth there. We're adding talented depth that also fits the system. And maybe by the way, Connor McGovern at center is a $10.3 million cap hit. I'm not saying Strange is going to come in and, you know, win the starting center job or anything like that, but maybe in a year, if they want to play him at center, we know Joe Douglas likes versatility. We saw Dan Feeney, you know, primarily at guard, but he played some center. What just happened? Finalizing draft. Okay. Yeah, so these are the picks. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Kayvon Thibodeau, Cross, Olave McBride, Kennard, Joseph, again, Alec Pierce, Cole Strange, and then to round it off, Tyler Goodson, a guy who I think fits the system, comes in, adds some depth at running back, and can hurt defenses on the outside, like outside zone rushes, pitch plays, and whatnot. This is the class. This is the class. Sorry about that. My camera ended up dying. What would you give? What would you grade this class? And then let me know your 7-round mock draft down below in the comment section, and with some cool prospects to watch that you're going to be keeping your eye on throughout the process, whether it's pro days and combines in a couple days. Okay, so it should be really fun to watch. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.